Hello and welcome to today's International Affairs, broadcasting live from the SATV's Gulshan studio. My name is Shamsul Panto, your host for this program. I shall be bringing you the updates from around the world. Today is, of course, the 12th day into the Israel and U.S. coalition attack on Iran. Before I begin the discussion, I want to introduce all my panel. In the studio, we have Advocate Mohsin Rashid, senior jurist for the Supreme Court, President of the Bangladesh Muslim League. I welcome you onto the program here today.
Thank you.
Alongside, we will have Norman Floyd Barnes, our geopolitical correspondent, joining from Washington, D.C. As the war progresses on to its 12th day, the president of the Iranian country, the Iranian administration, Masoud Pezeshkian, has said it has understanding almost three situations or three understandings will be considered if a ceasefire or a understanding between all the sides and the actors to be reached. First of all is the recognition of Iran's legitimate rights, a formal acknowledgement of Iran's rights, particularly regarding its security and, according to earlier statements, its right to nuclear enrichment. Second being the payment of war reparations, all the damages that has been done for it to be cleared in some kind of monetary exchange, as well as guarantees against any kind of future aggression which should not take place. I want to begin with Norman Floyd Barnes. What are the updates that you have from the U.S. side? We know that the world is embracing for a longer war. However, Donald Trump, the U.S. president, is seeing that he wants to step out of this war, given that 12th day has already passed. I want to begin with Norman Floyd Barnes.
Yes, good morning from Washington, D.C. Congress yesterday, they had a closed-door section, gag order put on them, briefing on the war. And the conclusion of that meeting revealed that we are spending $1 billion a day, up to about 11, I think it was about 11 or 12 billion dollars to spend so far. And there's no explanation of why. Congress has not been able to extract a legitimate reason why we involved in this controversy. At the same time, 15 million people are without medical care here in the United States, and the cost of gas and everything is going up. I believe oil has, the Brent crude has went up to $100 today as a result of the Strait of Hormuz ships being attacked. Two to three tankers been attacked so far. There's been casualties resulting in that. And the insurance companies are not going to insure any tanker trying to navigate through that area, even though the president has mentioned about naval escorts. So the war goes on. It's a situation now, who can hurt each other worse? So the Iranians are hitting us very hard. The first indication came of a cyber attack, the first legitimate one claimed by the Iranian company, that they have hit the American medical supply company called Stryker, who has over 53,000 employees worldwide, with a legitimate cyber attack, which basically cut off all the communications, the information for the medical equipment they have around the world, and all of the employees' phone has been put back into the reset mode, factory reset mode. So this is the first of many things that is occurring as a result of the war. You can expect more of these type of cyber attacks. The government here, the intelligence, has put out notices to major organizations, major businesses, and government officials that we are now under siege. Thank you.
Of course, very important updates coming from Norman Floyd Barnes. One of the things that he picked out was the 3 cargo vessels that have come under attack in the Strait of Hormuz. Notably, there were 20 crew members who were rescued off of that Strait of Hormuz, and it included a Thai cargo ship that was set to go towards India. So that is the issue of the Middle East at the moment. We do not see any kind of ending the war, even though the U.S. side, U.S. President Donald Trump has said that his team members, Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, and those who were involved in the negotiations had a slight feeling that Iran may retaliate anytime. And that is why the attack had occurred in the beginning of the month. I want to ask you, Sir Mohsen Rashid, what is your observation? 12 days have gone by. What is the next phase of this war?
I think the war will come to an end because Trump now knows that he is not going to win. Problem has been that Trump is a captive of Netanyahu. USA has become a slave of Israel. That's where the problem lies. I mean, they went into this war on a hypothetical, it was totally hypothetical. I mean, why are you going to that war? Jared said something or Witkoff said something, you know, you don't go to a war like this. You know, I'm so sorry. I'm very hopeful that this war is ultimately going to end as soon as the United States of America realizes that they do not want to continue as slaves, or Trump realizes that he is not a captive of Netanyahu. You see, there is so much of destruction which has gone on. Now, look at the media. The media will not show you what has happened to Israel.
Accurately.
You don't see anything in the media. What is happening to these missiles? I mean, why interceptors are being taken away from the Persian Gulf region, and why these interceptors are being taken out from South Korea and brought in to Israel? Why?
Overwhelmed. Clearly, the US forces are
clearly
overwhelmed.
shows that all the interceptors, the Iron Dome, and the third is not working, the Patriots are not working, nothing is working. And Iran now has an upper hand. If it did not have an upper hand, it certainly would not have said that they don't want to go into negotiations. Now it is Iran which is putting up conditions for negotiations, that these are my conditions, if we agree on this, we will stop, otherwise we go ahead. You see, America should have realized one thing, that this is not the age of Operation Desert Storm.
Right.
This is an age where you are not you are not in a unipolar world. It's a tripolar world now. You have three big superpowers: America, Russia and China. During Desert Storm, this was not the situation. So we must realize this and proceed accordingly, because after all, the Chinese and the Russians have bound themselves to Iran.
Right.
You know, Iran now is not using GPS. They are on a Chinese constellation, which is about 12, 13 or 15, I don't know how many satellites.
BDS. BDS.
The BDS.
Okay.
BDS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Courtesy of
they are on
Norman. Thank you.
Thank you. They are on a different system altogether now, and they are getting all information from there. Every second what is happening, what the Americans are doing, what the Israelis are doing, they have all the information which is being conveyed to Iran. So, this is something that they should understand. But then the other loss that America is having in this war is the petrodollar has lost its shine. It is no more a currency which is acceptable to many. Saudi Arabia has stopped using petrodollars. They are doing it in other currencies. So, why this risk was taken by Trump, I don't understand. I simply don't understand. I mean, why should he be a captive of Netanyahu? You are a superpower. You are one of the three topmost countries in the world. You control, now you have $40 trillion you have in debt now, which is increasing. And as Norman said,
another 5 trillion just increased over 1 year.
As Norman said, that every day I think they are having a loss of $1 billion+ every day. It's going into this war for what? Your people are suffering, the Americans are suffering, the Israelis are suffering. What has happened? Just because of an ego. I mean, why do you have to massage the ego of Netanyahu? I don't understand. Why do you have to massage the ego of these East European gentlemen who are sitting in the cabinet and destroying not only Israel but the entire global economy is being destroyed? I mean, I just fail to understand. What has Jared Kushner got to do with this? What has Witkoff got to do? They are not diplomats, they are business people. They are business people. They had no business. You should have used diplomats to work on these situations when you have situations like this. They know what to do. They have an understanding of the international framework. So, I mean, this is just a wrong war, and it's a war of choice for the United States. And in as much as Iran is concerned, you have thrust war on them. They are defending themselves. They are the victims. They are the victims. And today, what is happening, you are going to lose all these bases in the Middle Eastern countries. Your aircraft carrier has fled from the waters of Bahrain. It has now gone into the Indian Ocean. And you have no realization. Your grocery stores, look at them. Prices are going up.
Even the barrel per price is going up at the petrol stations.
I think it's already over 100 now. And if this does not stop, it will go to 200. It will go to 200. You cannot stop it. Where does the global economy go? I don't understand. On the one hand, you are doing tariff business. On the other hand, you are into this war, ruining your own country. For Israel, why? How many million Jews do you have? Nobody is against the Jews. I am not. We are not. The Bangladeshi people are not against the Jews. The Bangladeshi people or the Muslims are against the Zionists because the Zionists want to expand. And this expansion is not going to happen.
Very important. I must thank Advocate Mohsen Rashid for breaking down the situation of the global order and the important statement that came, United States of America becoming slaves of Israel. I want to get a small answer from Norman Floyd Barnes. You were hearing Advocate Mohsen Rashid. What are some of the reactions that you felt when the guest in the studio was talking about these issues? There are more issues that I will come to you later, but I want to know the strategic losses the United States is facing. How do you think Donald Trump will address this in the face of the people, where he could have avoided this war? He had built up tension for almost 2 weeks before taking out the supreme leader. What is your observation?
My observation is that we are in a very dangerous situation. The economy is at risk. We have issues here in the United States that has not been addressed. And now we are spending billions, trillions of dollars fighting a war that no one understands. The people here do not understand why we are engaging in this type of activity that will bring, the only thing we're getting out is just higher prices, and the sons and daughters are being bought back in body bags. So it's not something that we agree with. More importantly, we can't understand, and people can't understand why we are engaged in it, and what is the outcome? What is the exit plan? There's no one who's been able to explain an exit plan, a date, a time, a concept, or anything. We are just responding to what's going on, and it appears that this is not going to fare well for the United States economy. We are killing people over there. We're killing people. We're blowing up objects. I'm not even going to say they're real objects. There's some of these have been counterfeit plastic stuff that have been put there as decoys. They spending millions of dollars to blow up a $2 piece of plastic. And we are gaining, but we are losing at the same time credibility, and also we're losing favor with the Gulf states. At some point in time, they're going to say enough is enough, and they're going to want out of this situation. Have you noticed that these attacks have been in the Gulf state is to impede and to influence and impact the economic situation in the Gulf region? to have a direct effect on the pressure on the Trump administration to get out of this situation. However, the situation with Israel is more of a infrastructure issue. They are not putting out information on exactly the devastation that is happening in Israel. They are being attacked with this new technology from China and the precision direction navigation from Russia. There will be now the next stage of the hypersonic missiles will be utilized to basically make pinpoint accuracy attacks on Israel. So Israel is in a very bad situation. Yes, they are now attacking Lebanon, trying to do the same. The word is yesterday that they are using the same tactics they use in Gaza in there. Children are being killed. People are being decimated. So they're doing the same thing that they did in Gaza in Lebanon. So the world is watching this. So we need to look at and see exactly what are we doing? What are we doing? Are we sitting here tolerating and seeing the same thing over again? They say, a prescription for madness is that you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Well, we are hyper mad. This situation is being repeated, and there's no solution. There's no end game. It's just a process of war with no results. And hopefully they can get out of this situation. Right now, I don't know. We're talking about President Trump. When he decides when he's going to get out of the war, the situation right now, when you're at war, you are not the only person that decide. No, we now in a situation now, we at a war that people now, the people we are attacking, we are fighting, are now fighting back. They will determine when they stop fighting back. We can stop, but I don't think it's going to end that way.
Very important statements coming from Norman Floyd Barnes. I do agree with the fact that it has been a genocide after genocidal attack on various nations. It started with Gaza. Today we're seeing southern Lebanon as well as Iran, and this war breaking out in the region. And of course, Iranian side has decided to remove US and the US administration's effects and leverage in the Middle East. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a short break. After the break, we shall discuss the other related news impending into this war. Do stay with us. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Panta.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen,
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Panta.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen,
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Welcome back on International Affairs. Today, we are joined in the studio by Advocate Mohsen Rashid, and from Washington, D.C., we have Norman Floyd Barnes. There is an issue that I want to pick out with Norman Floyd Barnes. Beginning of the fight between the U.S. and Iran, there was a hidden FBI memo that has stated that Iranians may aspire to conduct an attack, a hidden attack in California. Although it sounds very long and far-fetched, but this kind of memo had come out to the big screens. All the major international media has been picking out on it. And Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, says there is no imminent threat to California. However, my question remains, California is seen as a blue state or a democratic state. I want to know more from Norman Floyd Barnes. Why California? What is the significance of that? And the media reporting regarding this, is there something being staged? I want to know from Norman Floyd Barnes.
Fake news.
Thank you. I appreciate the fact that Norman Floyd Barnes has labeled this as a fake news, even after ABC News from Australia and various news outlets are reporting about this. Even CNN has said that Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, has said that there is no imminent threat. However, in this media reporting line, in this last 12 days, we've seen a lot of fake news appearing, especially of the kind of, I'll recite another one, which says Benjamin Netanyahu has been killed, which has still not made any kind of remarks. That is also fake news. Coming back to the studio, I want to ask Advocate Mohsen Rashid, how do you see this last 12 days of media reporting? Some of the Bangladeshi social media pages are of support of Iran. Some of them are not so supportive. Some of the nations are Facebook, giving more or less Meta, known as Meta. It has become the third alternative war field when a war has broken out. So, as you were saying, this was not the times of Operation Desert Storm. Now a new kind of rhetoric is on the narrative board. It is information and how information can be used. What is your observation?
Well, you see, this is an age where you have to be very careful. There's so much of disinformation, there's so much of fake news which is making headlines, even at times in your mainstream media. The problem is that most of it is created as a propaganda. I still remember this CNN lady who spoke in the UN General Assembly and said, if you want to know what hell is like, then you please see it in, I think, Syria or somewhere. She said you can see it there. Now, we also saw a photograph, video in the mainstream media when in ambulance a boy with blood all over his face was shown, and these white helmets were working in that, because these white helmets were also part of the spy network, you know. So, later on DW came up with a documentary which said that this was all done for propaganda. There was no boy like this was injured, was brought in, this were all, color was put on his hand, on his face, and they also said that this boy was trained by a PR company to act in this way. So, you know, Americans are famous for doing all kinds of stupid things, using these PR firms, making videos to create disinformation, to create a propaganda, to arouse sentiments of people around the world. But now, with this social media platform, it has become very difficult because the social media is playing on both sides, and you can make an assessment as to what is happening on the ground now. So now the mainstream media is not so effective in their propaganda. Nobody wants to listen to them, nobody wants to see those channels. They just hook onto it for a minute to see what they are saying, and then they go off. People are now on the social media. They are on the Facebook, they are on WhatsApp, they are on X, from where they get some videos, news and other things. So I think it is very important that the governments should come up with the proper information so that people know what is actually happening behind the scenes. Because if people do not know, then people will be looking towards all these propaganda that is on, and propaganda is not a good thing. Propaganda in war is not a good thing. Say like Netanyahu is dead. Netanyahu's brother is dead. I for one cannot say whether it's fake news or it's correct news, because Israel has not said a word about it. For the last 3 or 4 days, this news is there in the social media, but not a word. Now, I don't know whether it's propaganda, whether it's fake news. Why doesn't he come and say that this is fake news? This is Netanyahu. Come and address a press conference. The defense minister has been injured, very badly, critically injured. So, why? Governments should be more faithful. People trust their governments. People have faith in governments. We all look towards governments to come and tell us. You see, now if the governments don't come and tell us, then we have to go into this propaganda machinery. We sometimes swallow this disinformation that is coming in, which is not good. Which is not good because you cannot change things with disinformation and with fake news and with propaganda.
Right. Very important updates regarding propaganda and information usage in the war fronts. I must thank Advocate Mohsen Rashid for your valuable time and insight into the program of international affairs. I must also thank Norman Floyd Barnes for numerously joining us over the week, over the months and days that we have continued this reporting. I must thank him for his aspects here on international affairs. I want to end the program by stating that our new government has stepped into the parliament as of today, and they are starting to deliver their addresses in their very first parliament speeches, as well as the International Energy Agency is announcing record 400 million barrels of oil reserves to be released to the global market to satisfy the needs for all of these nations combined. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. I shall catch you all on next week's International Affairs.